There is use of haze in this show. It's very light, and you've probably seen some of it coming in. And yeah, it's great. The actors will be very, very close to you. So it's a great show. And that's it. It's about an hour long. Enjoy the show.
Over here. This is where I saw her last.
This is morbid, Papa.
The last day on the dials. The other girls threw her a little party. 30 to 40 girls on the floor.
Grace, over here.
And me. Watching over them.
We shouldn't be in here. This building's been condemned.
And that business with the brushes, that wasn't my idea. It was Von Chonky, his invention.
It was years ago, Papa.
People blame me for that, but I wasn't a technical man. I had my shareholders with me. Gentlemen, we stand here today at the threshold of a new era. An era of ingenuity, an era of possibility, marked by the marriage of commerce and science. Radio, my friends, is the fruit of that marriage. And like the automobile before it, like the telephone and the telegraph, this miracle element began as just a novelty. It is now a necessity of daily life. Luminous watches, luminous dials, these were agents of victory in Europe. Now, radium is about to become the agent of a new victory. The coming victory over cancer.
Arthur, what a day.
Dan, what did I tell you? They love us.
Did you see Von Chonky? Where is she?
He's here.
Back in the hall.
I'm surprised he had the nerve.
Hold on, boys. Miss Wiley, what a nice surprise. Charlie, Dan, you remember Miss Wiley, the consumer's relief?
Miss Wiley, no more complaints, I hope, from the housewives in Orange.
The laundry's fine. Thank you, Dr. Lehman.
Ought to be. We spent a lot of money on those filters.
The fact is, I'm here in that other.
Your letter. Now is not the best time, Miss Wiley.
Well, I was hoping you might answer the immediate question.
I'll answer it. There's no white phosphorus anywhere in the paints, Miss Wiley.
The young lady's condition.
There's no white phosphorus anywhere on the property.
Then how do you explain the bone decay in her jaw?
This is one of our girls we're talking about?
Former employee. About this about 2 years ago.
Why don't you talk to her current employer then?
She's not working currently. She's too ill.
I'm sorry to hear it, but let me assure you, we are taking your concerns very seriously.
We're consulting with the Harvard Medical School of Industrial Medicine.
You mean Dr. Junior?
You know him?
Fairly well. The chair of our league is a college.
Then we can agree. Whatever Dr. Griffith concludes, you will be satisfied?
I expect so. Thank you, Mr. Roeder. Gentlemen.
Have some cake, Miss Wiley.
Whatever the trouble is, it can't be anything at the plant.
Well, and meanwhile, you just keep smiling.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers. Lilies and carnations and orchids. You know how Amelia loves orchids.
Those were flags.
Orchids.
Flags.
I know an orchid when I see one, Irene. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell, Grace, was that smell. It was like
Flowers?
Like heaven. I was gonna say, like heaven.
Like heaven, Catherine. It was just a funeral. Make it out like some kind of Valentino picture.
It wasn't just a funeral. It was Amelia's, and it was beautiful. The church was like the botanical garden.
Sounds like a nice service anyhow.
I'm surprised you weren't there, Grace. What happened? Did Tom keep you out late last night at the movies?
Wasn't near that exciting. Ma had to work, so I took the kids to the park.
Girls! The whiz is already gone. Now then, I've received new instructions this day. Going back to the old way of pointing the brushes. We was using to which paint and cloth. But, yes, Grace, something you wish to say?
Dr. Marzachowski told us not to do that. Said it was unsanitary.
Unsanitary? I hardly believe you'd say something like that. The man invented the paint. And you're not to be sharing brushes. Each girl is to have her own brush. And you're not to get a new one until it goes so bad, you can't even point no more.
How can you make a quota like that?
It's not for us to be asking questions. Is it for us? It's for us to do the work.
It's not for us
some instruction for you. Let's start setting a course.
Was she at the service?
McNeil, are you kidding?
Dr. Von Sashaki was, though, and Mr. Roeder. Oh, and Grace, who's that one fellow from Crystallizing? You know, the one with the red hair?
The tall one with the freckles?
Jerry.
I think it's George.
It's Jerry. Jerry Malone. He's the one always talking to Amelia in the day.
Grace, when the math is over, he goes over to the coffin and like this he goes, really?
So what if he did?
So what? He was in love with her, that's so what. Don't you think so, Grace?
I guess he had to be if he did that.
And can you imagine if he loved her so much and never could bring himself to say? Because she was so beautiful and he was so shy. Now she's dead and he'll never get the chance to say anything.
Poor Amelia.
Poor Amelia.
Poor kid.
Her whole family took it awful bad, Grace. Every one of them just bawling like babies.
You know why?
Because their daughter had died.
She died from.
Don't go spreading stories.
No, a story your sister told us. No reason Grace shouldn't know.
No what? Really? Amelia?
Her father's fit to be tied too. 6 girls at home, none of them ever gonna dance again, all because Amelia up and died from syphilis.
Shut up.
Can't help it, that's what she died from.
But Amelia was ever so nice.
Guess she got around more than you knew.
Girls, your attention, please. The gentleman will make an announcement.
And to explain some changes, yes?
Yes, as you may have heard, Dr. Von Sachaki is stepping down as company president, and he would like to take this opportunity.
To make with goodbye, ladies, some of you have known since you were little girls, coming here during the walk to work. 200, 300, maybe 500 dials a day.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Now, girls, as the doctor is a very busy man, he would like to take this opportunity to just wish him luck on his new business ventures.
And let us good luck wish to you also, Mr. Rodeo, with the new direction you intend the company to take.
New direction.
To slow down dial painting and
Now.
business moving to the medical market. Lots of changes, yes?
What the doctor is referring to, some of our larger customers are setting up their own dial painting studios.
Which means less work for our girls here.
In the short run, however, the Waterbury Clock Company is seeking some help. We were hoping to make this announcement next week. We'll make it now, Mr. McNeil.
We'll be asking some of you girls to go on up there. Catherine Schaub was one, and Louise Conlon. I have the list downstairs.
Posted today. Now, girls, as we're all on the clock, we'll leave you to your work.
Thank you, ladies. My best wishes to you.
Let's back to work with you girls. Are you gonna do it, Catherine? Are you gonna take the job?
I will if you do.
Tommy would have a fit.
Oh, come on, just for a few months. It'll be fun. Won't it be fun, Irene? Irene?
Irene, honey, you alright?
Sure, I'm ready.
Your mouth is bleeding.
$35 a week, finishing up, and quits the place.
More to life than money.
Wait till it gets to my age. With a house full of kids, you'll thank God for everything you provide.
We got money to buy.
Oh yeah? How much?
Enough to get married on.
Get much to get married on. Get hot enough to stay married on.
Let us get married. We'll find out.
You silly Tommy.
Nope.
You're gonna get fat.
Gotta keep his strength up. He works hard for his money.
Don't start, Mom.
I didn't say nothing. It was your father hit the roof over it. Most girls get their auntie for a job like that.
Mom.
Good money, easy work. All the nice looking fellas around the plant.
You didn't tell me about them, Grace.
And up and quits the place. I'm tired of it, she says. Are you tired of a paycheck? I says. I don't need a paycheck, she says. I got me a boyfriend to take care of me.
You said that?
Oh, you know I didn't. And for your information, I have a job. I started the bank on Monday.
And how much does it pay?
Enough.
Enough. You know what that means, Tom. Don't come close to what they pay at the reading lamp.
It's office work.
Office work. Suppose that means we'll be spending more money on clothes?
Well, she steamed at you.
I don't see what difference this makes, so long as I'm working somewhere.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
I mean, sure, I liked it, but it's been 4 years up there.
So, I've been delivering mail for 8 years, and I plan to keep delivering mail another 20 to 30 years, if I'm lucky. Steady work, Grace. Helps you sleep at night.
Close your eyes.
What for me to pull the shades?
It's not that kind of surprise. Okay, open.
Wallpaper.
For the baby's room.
Baby's room. You won't kiss me and you're talking about babies.
There's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure, but you know, Grace, most girls get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
They're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers and this one has little flowers.
Is some kind of test?
Just wallpaper.
It is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
That one.
Really?
The other one's then?
This one's nice, don't you think?
That one then.
But I want you to like it too.
If you like it, I'll like it. Wallpaper is wallpaper.
No, it's not. You have to pick something you can stand to look at for at least 20 years.
Same way you pick woman?
Keep it up, smarty pants. You've never been in that piss.
Okay, fine. This one. This one hands down.
I like it. A nice neutral yellow goes with a boy or a girl's room. Until the baby comes, you could use the room for other things.
Yeah, like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe.
A painting studio, maybe? Didn't you get enough of painting at the radium plant?
Not the kind I wanted to do, Tommy. Sometimes I just want some time to myself. To do watercolors or oils, maybe. Maybe portraits and all. I could paint yours if you like.
Why not? Paint a big picture of me and we'll hang it in the outhouse. All my friends will come around just as you can, so they can look at it.
Will you talk sometimes?
Ah, Grace. You want to paint pictures, paint pictures. I ain't gonna stop you.
You say that now, Tommy, but wait till you're working one night, one Christmas maybe, when everyone on your route has 3 times the mail. Maybe some dog took after you. Maybe some old lady on her porch kept talking about her grandchildren and you didn't have the heart to tell her, I can't talk right now. I know you, so you have come home all tired. And there I am in the kitchen with my paints everywhere and my easel set up. What would you say then?
Better be a picture of me you're painting.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? Where's my dinner?
Well, sure, but I'd still admire the painting. Just want to look at it on full stomach is all. So, how'd I do? Pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at stripes.
Stripes, polka dots. I don't care. Tell your mom wait no more. We'll just run off.
Tommy, we're not running off. We're gonna do this right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music, and then a week at seashore. Then we'll move into our own place. I promise it'll be worth the wait.
Your mouth hurt you?
Dentist wants me to pull another tooth in the back.
What's the tooth?
You think this is funny? Oh, she's 9 years old, Diane.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Well, time is on your side. Soon enough, she'll lose all interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says in the bottle.
Is it pure?
Where's the flyer? You want to try it?
If it'll give me vitality, how could I refuse? Your father came by to see me yesterday.
Oh, another hard luck case.
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
And the husband has been laid off from, let's see, Brickyard?
How'd you know?
He came by to see me yesterday. It's never enough for him to just have ordinary ambitions. You have to have a mission in life.
And you did?
I can't hand out jobs to him.
What about Dan?
Dan?
Couldn't you use some assistance in the laboratory?
No, Dan needs trained technicians, not some bricklayer.
There must be something.
I can get my checkbook.
Artie, the man needs a job, not charity. What is it your father says? A working man needs to work. It wears on his
Wears
soul.
on his soul not to work. Alright. If it's a matter of his soul, that's different. I'll talk to Dan.
You're a good man, are you?
You do love being married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
Make no promises, Diane.
No promises.
To your health.
I'm sorry. I couldn't find anything on your show.
Rudolph.
Rudolph? The girl I'm asking after, Irene Rudolph, my cousin.
Did she file the complaint?
No, the dentist did.
Dr. Knapp?
He said she might have falsy jaw like they got in the match factory. He was gonna complain to the health department. It's been 6 months and he still hasn't heard.
Flossy jaw, you said.
Catherine, maybe it's like the doctor said. Maybe it's just a blood infection.
Well, what was it from?
From dirt. You get infections from dirt.
From dirt? Her face puffing like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat no more, Tom. You think you get that from a little dirt? You get it from phosphorus.
Phosphorus.
You go ahead and laugh. You won't laugh so hard 6 months from now when it's you in here asking after Grace.
It's just a toothache, Catherine.
That's how it started for Irene. You wait, Grace. Soon you'll be so weak and sick you can't stand up. Your jaw's so swollen you can't stand the side of yourself. Your jaw running so bad you can't eat anymore. Then look at yourself. Yeah, a toothache and a backache. And what else that you said, Grace? A sore leg that won't quit?
One sore leg.
From that new job at the bank, standing all day.
It's not from the bank and you know it.
Irene Rudolph?
Yes.
Nothing. What? The company's in full compliance with all state health and labor regulations. See for yourself.
Paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc.
They also studied a number of the employees. The blood work is all normal. There's a copy of the report right there. Harvard study.
Okay, let's get some lunch.
I want to file another complaint.
Oh, brother.
Catherine, these folks are awfully busy here.
3 surgeries, Grace, and they wanted her to cut her again. She knew. She knew. What was left of her jaw rotting so bad? I couldn't even look at her. Irene was so afraid of being alone. When I left her alone. She died in the middle of the night. Nobody was with her. I left her alone.
I'm sorry. Can we have another form, please?
Is the girl still sick?
She died.
Wait right here.
Miss Fryer.
Dr. Flint, it's awfully nice of you to see me.
Not at all, my dear. Not at all.
I told the surgeon I was coming by, so he gave you the results of my blood work.
Ah, I see. I must say, Miss Fryer, blood's better than mine.
It does?
That's what an old man who smokes. Now tell me, what else is troubling you?
My feet and my back mostly. I've had to wear back brace for about 6 months now.
I see. This right before you left the company, or after?
After.
When you left the plant when?
2 years now. My dentist, Dr. Knapp, he said this all had to do with the radium. I know a girl who died from it, Irene Rudolph.
Rudolph. Oh yes, terrible. Vitis angina. That's an ulcerative condition of the mouth and ear.
From the radium.
No. And unfortunately, we also have poor dental care. So let me be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth.
There was something else about this. Other girls in the paper who got sick.
Miss Fryer, don't tell me to pay any attention to the newspapers.
What?
The stories are not scientific. No, you must listen to science. Ignore all the nonsense in the newspapers. Because I can tell you right now, radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
Then what's ailing?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer. Poor diet. We have some vitamin deficiency.
But Dr. Knapp said
You must eat more fresh fruit.
hard to do in the winter.
Raw meat as well. That'll help the anemia. Or calves that are good for you lately. examination. No, I mean consulted with it.
How are you doing on the rest of the report?
The animals like it. The animal says it can no adverse effects from the radium. The problem is the suspect. So personal hygiene.
It's just like you said, Catherine. These folks will do anything. They'll say anything.
Except for the right thing.
We're gonna make them pay. We're gonna make sure someone hears about this.
Next thing you know,
Mr. Lee will try your check.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have to accept injustice. Instead, we can use our power as consumers to influence the practices of those who would wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Miss Wiley, I'm Grace Fryer. The health department said you might be able to help me.
My goodness, yes, Miss Farah. I mean,
Me and my friend Catherine, we wrote the company a while ago, but we never heard back, so we went to see a couple lawyers.
But they all said it's too late.
Something about the law won't allow it.
the statute of limitations, 2 years.
One lawyer, he said he wanted $1,000 straight up. I already spent every penny from our wedding on doctors, dentists, and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong with me. Tom here says he doesn't care,
We just need to settle our debts.
so we can get on with things.
So if we could get her some compensation,
Do you think we could?
Tell me, Miss Farah, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find you rude, and the company says, all right, here's some money. Only you have to tell no one what we've agreed to.
a confidential settlement?
That don't seem right.
It isn't. But that's what they'll do. They'll try to buy your silence. Is it for sale?
No, ma'am.
Miss Fryer, you'd be willing to put your needs aside. For the moment. We could stop this company dead in its tracks.
How?
Hit them where it matters most. Their public image. When every newspaper in America hears your story, how you suffered, how you were sorely treated, how the company denied all responsibility, believe me, Miss Fryer, our promoter will come to the table with these happy statements.
Then I get my compensation.
I know it's a little funny.
Yes. But right now I'm more angry than scared.
Good. Hold on to that anger. Only, be sure not to sneak.
Ma'am?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That's our strongest weapon. And the public doesn't have no sympathy for anyone.
December 4th, 1927, Jack Young, a reporter for the New York Ledger, New York's first source for news.
Nancy Jean Harlan for the New York Graphic, the New York Graphic's only girl reporter.
On the strange case of the Radium Girls.
Who claim that they're poisoned at the hands of their employer.
Ask me. That was sham. What do you mean? Those girls are very sick. Sick of working, sure. The doctors say the Radium Girls only have a year to live.
Only 1 year to live and 250 grand to spend.
What would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do with $250,000?
I would buy a wardrobe like I own a castle, or give it all to charity.
I know the stock market.
I'd buy myself a diamond the size of New Hampshire.
And I'd use it to pay my medical bills, and the second mortgage on our house, the one my father took out to pay for my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home.
Suffering bravely through this entire ordeal.
It hurts to smile, but I have to. I know if I don't smile, I'll go crazy.
But it must get to you sometimes.
Knowing what you've been through in the company getting fat off your labor,
And all I have to say about it is.
No comment.
I'd rather just think about how it's gonna be when justice prevails.
What a fine example of womanhood. You can only aspire to bear our cross in life as nobly as this young girl.
been in this game a long time, and I know when a lawyer tries his case in the newspapers, he doesn't have much of a case.
What's your proposal, Mr. Markley?
$1,500 for each girl.
That's not even a year's worth of wages.
We think it's very generous considering your case won't survive the statute of limitations.
We believe the court will find that it does.
The court can't rewrite the law. 2 years from the date of injury. Your clients are out of time.
2 years from the date of the cause of the injury is discovered.
Very creative, Mr. Barry. I admire your imagination, but you have a long way to go before you convince the judge.
In the meantime, Mr. Markley, the press will continue to take great interest in this story. And the U.S. Radium Corporation's complete indifference to its workers.
More good press for the Consumers League, and you accuse us of exploiting these girls.
The arrogance of that man.
Tell me again the purpose of these articles, Miss Wiley.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry. That's the engine of reform.
How's it gonna help the girls to read in a dozen different newspapers that they only have a year to live?
Clearly you can see the company cares nothing about the girls it poisoned. But the average housewife cares very much. These women shop, they buy watches. Mr. Markley can be as smug as he likes, but the Consumers League is working, and he knows it. That's why he was here today.
I hope you're right, Miss Wiley.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry. Just wait and see.
Dear Miss Shaw, I read of your sad story in the Boston Globe, and I'm sorry for your plight. I would like to share with you girls the key to my own good health at the age of 92. Christian Science.
Dear Miss Fryer, I have read of your woeful situation in the Atlantic Constitution. I have a solution. Venison, a wonder tonic made from all natural ingredients. We want to offer you a lifetime supply of venison in exchange for exclusive rights to use your picture in our advertisements.
Dear girl, I read about you in the Billing Gazette. I run 100 head of cattle up here and I do very well for myself. I have always longed for a companion and I am well prepared to offer you a nice home in your final hours. Surely you deserve a few fleeting hours of happiness. Sincerely, your admirer, Leonard F. Watkins. P.S. Enclosed is my picture.
You okay?
I'm bleeding again.
Maybe we should go. You need your rest.
I'm afraid to sleep. I might not wake up.
Catherine, look at this mail. Miss Wiley says folks will be on our side, and sure she was right.
Grace, what if we don't win?
Of course we'll win.
How can you know that? You and Tom, you won't never get married and we'll all be out on the street.
Catherine, all we have to do is get on the stand. Just think of Mr. Rotor's face when the judges rule for us.
They didn't have no vanilla, so I got some chocolate.
Took you long enough.
Don't get on me. I had 6 people stop me on the way here. All of them reporters and all of them asking after you.
Waiting for me to die.
No one's waiting for you to die.
It's true. One of them called my mother, asking if I had died. When she said no, he sounded disappointed. Evening, girls. Have a picture.
For the love of Mike, what are you doing?
We're taking pictures of the graphics exclusive.
What exclusive?
$5,000 service to you. Perhaps you're familiar with Norm McFadden.
Who, that faith healer?
Herbalist, Mr. Fryer.
Norm McFadden is a patented herbal therapy used just looking to get the girls back on their feet, and the graphic will pay for it.
All we ask is exclusive rights to their story from here on out.
Grace, they're serious.
You want to pay us $5,000 to see Bernard McFadden?
Easy money, huh?
Let me see that.
The graphic always does business on the up and up.
Grace, what does your father own the house again?
I'm not sure.
And that last hospital bill, a couple hundred at least.
At least.
And all we do is talk to this herbalist fella.
Well, we'll have to get our money's worth.
A series of features with pictures following the course of your illness, treatment, recovery, or otherwise.
And you print whatever you want.
Maybe we have some color. Everybody gets color.
Not interested.
Grace, you think you became from the company?
The company owes us a lot more than that.
If we ever end up seeing it.
Look, Grace, you're gonna talk to the reporters anyhow. Why not get something out of it?
Because Martino, the girls can cash under the illness. Anybody can sympathize with a poor girl facing certain death with no fulfillment in motherhood.
I'd like you to go now. My friend needs her rest.
Grace, at least think about it.
I understand you're scared about what people will say, but hey,
girls who claimed they got sick here. One of them, the girl's jaw rotted so bad I just lifted the bone.
Oh, that's alright, Dr. Neff. You can put that away.
Maybe you'd rather look at it on the x-ray. Dr. Lehman? It's an expensive case to treat. You never did get no compensation.
I sympathize, Dr. Neff, but what has that to do with us?
Here it is straight. There's gonna be a lot more girls saying they got sick here. So maybe we can play ball. Let me list the girls that worked here. See to it there ain't no more lawsuits.
You think you could cure them?
Couldn't put out a cure, you know. I'd examine them. Then you come up with a favorable diagnosis. I already say something else.
You persuade them not to sue?
Correct. Quite a few will die a natural death. And the rest will put off till the statute of limitations kicks in.
Why would these girls come to you?
Anybody would. You know, charge with nothing.
Because we'd be paying you.
I understand each other this way.
What exactly are you asking, Dr. Neff?
$10,000 for my troubles so far. $2 for every visit, plus expenses.
Absolutely not. Your proposal is immoral, and we want no part of it.
Immoral? You're fine when you keep talking about moral. Get your own hired guns ready to testify.
Those are expert witnesses.
Paid lackeys is more like it. Right, all right. You play ball with me? Fine. Now you know what you want from that.
Charlie, Dan, I want you to make statements on what happened this morning. We'll send them to the State Dental Society.
Then Neff will see who's playing ball and who isn't.
Maybe we shouldn't be so quick to shake this off.
What are you proposing?
Retain him as an expert.
Like Flynn.
Dan, Dr. Flynn is a highly respected professor from Columbia University, and Neff is a neighborhood dentist.
Flynn treated some of the girls.
No, he didn't treat them. He consulted with them.
He dispensed medical advice, Arthur.
It wasn't medical advice. It was a scientific opinion.
For which he was well paid. We do the same with Neff. It'll keep him quiet.
Neff isn't the problem. It's Von Sachaki.
What about Von Sachaki?
He's going to testify for the girls.
All right. Whatever Barry is paying him, we just offer more.
You don't understand guilt, do you, Charlie? Let me tell you something. A guilty man has a tremendous need to unburden himself. What Von Sachaki needs is to be free, so he will never testify for us, no matter what we offer.
Every penny I've put by in the last 7 years I've sunk into this company. Why? Because of you, Arthur.
We were fooled, Charlie.
You said it was a sure thing. Why work for Von Sachaki when we could work for ourselves? Remember that one?
Charlie, please.
Von Sachaki fooled us all. All we can do now is fix it the best we can.
Then you better pray this whole thing stops in civil court. Because if it comes down to criminal charges, don't count on me.
Criminal charges for what?
He didn't tell you? Drinker's report.
What about Drinker's report?
It's proprietary. We were under no obligation to share it.
We did share with the Department of Labor.
He sent what they needed to see, right, Arthur?
Arthur, my God.
Scientists, government men, they have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Sachaki laughed at the very idea of a promotion, but look at us. We are the world's largest radium supplier, the largest in the world. Do you have any idea what it took for us to get here? Do you think I could stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud?
But the Department of Labor, Arthur!
We just needed time.
They're gonna shut us down for this!
Just a little time to set things straight.
You want time? Let's see what Markley has to say about this. It's new evidence, right? Surely he can do something with this.
To study an x-ray? It's outrageous. How are we gonna hold out 3 more months? The girls could barely make it to court today. And Grace, what am I supposed to tell her? Go home, get some rest. That's the best I can do.
Perhaps this will help. It came in the afternoon mail.
Captain Drinker. Any relation to Cecile Drinker?
She's his wife, and a respected industrial hygienist in her own right. She worked with him on his study.
Haven't we already seen this document?
You've only seen part of it. Miss Drinker was particularly disturbed to read an article in the Ledger where Mr. Roeder states her study clears the company.
They doctored the report.
Roeder pulled out a single page listing the blood conditions of the healthiest employees, and he passed it off as the whole thing. Doesn't look so bad by itself, does it?
We can use this.
That should impress the judge.
Miss Wiley, I'm not going to wait 3 more months to make use of this. I say we call upon our friend at the New York World. If Roeder won't let us present our evidence in the courtroom, he can read about it in the newspaper.
said, Mrs. Middleton, if you think that's true, why did you associate with me?
What do you want me to say, Diane? I knew we were poisoning people, but didn't want to stop because we're making too much money.
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me to think?
For God's sakes, Diane, can't you see it's Vonsa Chalky? He's using the Consumers League to railroad.
Why would the consumers
Bunch
leave?
of radical woman do-gooders. Half of them Reds, probably socialists. You're gonna quit that club.
Quit the club?
Stop talking to that idiot Mrs. Middleton.
You're not making any
None of
sense.
those women know anything. You don't know anything.
Did you lie to the Department of Labor?
I have a fiduciary duty to the company.
I can't listen.
Diane, I have documents, articles, people with tumors the size of baseballs. Radiant therapy makes them disappear.
I'm tired. I'm going upstairs.
You can't really think I would lie about that, Diane. You can't really think I would set up to poison people.
13 girls have died.
People die every day. Young, old, children, younger than hair.
But they worked for
They
you!
work other places too. I have a report from Columbia University. Dr. Frederick Flynn, an industrial hygienist just like Brinker, who says there is no connection between our plant and these illnesses.
Then what else could it cause?
I don't know, Diane. I really don't know. But please, say you believe me. If you don't believe me, there's no point to anything.
Already.
We save lives.
You saved lives.
This is all for you. You know that, don't you? Everything I do, it always has been. Oh, please don't let that be another reporter.
Arthur!
Is that Mr. Lee?
Charlie, for God's sakes.
I dropped the telephone in the ledger. It's dead. He's not open.
What are you talking about?
We just saw him last week.
He died this morning.
But they were just here. Dan and Lee were just here.
I'll break down the autopsy. A severe anemia. The ledger is writing it on page 1.
You're blaming the radium.
I told the reporter we issue a statement at 8 o'clock.
Oh, poor Louise. We should go see her. We should go see her right now.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
She's planning to sue.
Louise?
She's filing a wrongful death action. Now, I worked up a statement for the paper. Dr. Daniel Lehman, company chemist for 8 years. Always in poor health, recently in decline.
But Dan was never sick. He was always out sailing or on the golf course or in their garden. They kept a beautiful garden.
Charlie, let's take care of this in the morning, shall we?
Of course. Sorry to bring you the bad news, Mrs. Roeder.
Charlie can be a bit excessive at times.
You needing to swim.
But I have to say something. The shareholders will expect it.
We're going to get rid of this.
Diane,
We'll have no more of it in the house.
I meant too far to quit.
I really didn't expect you to.
I'll tell you what we should have done. We should have hooked the reporter up on their offering when we had the chance. That's what we should have done.
$5,000. Don't make me laugh.
We should have talked her up too, because I'll tell you what, they'd have paid. And I'll tell you what else we should have done.
Stop telling me what else we should have done.
Alright, keep your shirt on.
What do you think? The red or the blue?
What's Barry say? Is he gonna go back to the company?
I like the red, but it don't fit so good these days.
Is he gonna try and talk the company up a bit?
Miss Wiley says one more interview will do the job. So I say, what's one more, right? Might as well look good.
It's worth a try, don't you think? What if the company came up to 5,000? Would you take it then?
Let them come up. I'm not caving in.
It's called a settlement.
A settlement? Just another way for them to hide.
Let them hide.
Then they win.
So they win. They're gonna win anyways.
You know what I found out today? They put lead screens in laboratories for technicians. Do they give us lead screens?
What are we doing here?
What do you think, 100 girls in a room and they're gonna spend that kind of money on us?
Grace?
Miss Wiley says they're gonna leave.
Grace?
Move across the river.
What are we doing here? I thought the idea was you'd get a better doctor, settle your debts, and we'd get on with things.
Get on with things?
Grace, you're still wearing my ring.
Oh.
Look, it's a house my brother's neighborhood. Everyone's up,
2 down. Not much, but it's a start. You'll like it. It's got flowered wallpaper, and best of all, it's only 3 blocks away from the school.
What do we need with the school?
Plan ahead for once.
Tommy, what did you think was gonna happen after all this? Everything will just go back to the way it was?
Why wouldn't it?
I have to see a surgeon.
Uh-huh.
I have fluid,
Okay.
and then he's
Grace,
supposed to leave
Grace,
her,
we
and
do
why
it
can't
when
you
it
do
comes!
that? How can you talk about buying houses and moving in together when you know there's nothing?
Grace, I just want for us to be together now. Right now. I want to come home to you at night. My wife, my home. I'm too old to be living like this in-between life. Grace, come on.
Should have done this a long time ago.
You just need some rest, that's all.
Tommy, please don't make me say it.
Grace, you're not getting enough sleep.
Tommy!
I'll be back to see you tomorrow. You get some rest, Grace.
Tommy, please don't do this to me. Tommy!
February 21st, 1928, to Mr. Raymond Berry from Dr. Harrison Martland, Medical Examiner, Essex County. We have studied the remains of the deceased Amelia Maggia. Our studies reveal the following radioactive substances have been found in large quantities in the lower jaw, the upper jaw, and lumbar vertebrae. No studies of syphilis found.
Body is radioactive! Bone of dead girl kicks off gamma rays. Catherine Wiley of Consumers League declares new evidence show company lied.
Dr. Joseph Neff, a Newark dentist who treated Amelia, has recently turned over portions of her jawbone that he removed from her mouth. This x-ray shows the jawbone is still radioactive, 5 years after the girl died.
Will this make your case?
Will this force a settlement? Make our case? No. This gentleman will make our case.
Last night in a graphic exclusive. Exclusive. Founder of the Radium Corporation breaks his long silence with this shocking announcement.
Radium is one of the most dangerous substances known to man.
Dr. Bonzacaki, is it true that you assisted with the autopsy?
Yeah, and given my expertise in radium extraction, I was able to determine Miss Maggie absorbed enough radium to kill 10 people.
What does it say about mild radium therapy?
Radium is responsible for the death of these poor girls and should be considered the most dangerous substance.
Do you agree with the doctor's prognosis that the Radium Girls only have a year to live?
From what I've seen, they'll be lucky to last that long.
Honey, wake up, it's almost 4 o'clock.
Well, Miss Barkley will be here in a minute. Did Miss Wiley come back?
Miss Wiley?
She said she was gonna come by. They took Catherine to the hospital last night. If she dies, it's over.
Grace, honey, I'll tell you what. Once we pay back the doctor, and the coal man, and the bank, there will be plenty of money left over to help you and Tom get started.
Nothing to start, though.
Why do you have to be so hard on him? Can't you see? Just can't bear the thought of him not being with us.
I have to bear it. Why can't he?
Do something with your hair, Grace.
$250,000. What would you do with $250,000, Miss Fryer? Why can't I imagine? Ma, you didn't tell me we had mail. They just keep writing, don't they? She was here. Ma, Miss Wiley was here. She left a note.
Miss Fryer, Edward Markley.
Ma said you brought some papers?
Yes. Terms fill out. $5,000 to you. I got a check right here. All we need is your signature.
This is a confidential settlement.
That's right. Grace, Mr. Markley is a very busy man.
Mr. Markley, what's contributory negligence?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
contributory negligence. That's what you said in court. Means it's our fault, don't it?
Mr. Markley, if you'll just leave the papers.
If you could just answer the question.
Why are you doing this?
Why didn't you tell me Miss Wiley was here?
She'd only try to talk you out of it.
What did she say about Catherine?
Mr. Markley, if you'll just leave the papers.
What did she say about Catherine?
She said it don't look good. Maybe I should come back later.
No, Mr. Markley, you didn't answer my question, and I would really like an answer. Because let me tell you, at your factory, they told us what to do and how to do it. I never made any trouble. I wasn't raised that way. So tell me, how did you get contributory negligence out of that?
We deeply regret your situation, Miss Pryor, but there's nothing we can do to tie condition to any evidence by your corporation.
Then why are you giving me this money?
It's a humanitarian gesture.
A humanitarian gesture? Week after week, you put us off delay after delay, knowing how sick we were? Humanitarian, you've been waiting for us to die.
This is a very generous offer, and I advise you take it, or we will be forced to withdraw permanently.
You're just trying to bully me.
Very well then. You're in court.
Yes, you will see me. They should drag me in their feet first.
You call that man back.
I'm going to court.
What government do we have?
Ma, I want them to look at me and explain how it's my fault I got sick working in their factory.
You know you can win.
I don't care. Ma, all my life I've done what other people tell me to do. Never once said I don't like the taste of paint. Never once I said I can't finish school. Every night I'd see my dress in my closet door, all aglow. My shoes, my hairbrush, so much light, and I never once asked why. That's what they were counting on.
I left messages with your housekeeper. I know you got the messages.
As we're no longer in business together, I thought it was best not to respond.
That's what this is about. Getting revenge.
Revenge?
Losing our company, losing your business. Now you're getting us back for it by spreading lies about us.
Perhaps a couple of things on your nose.
You never told us the paint was dangerous. You never said a word about it. Not to me, not to Dan.
I didn't know.
You didn't know. You invented the paint and you didn't know. How can you lie like that?
I didn't know until it was too late, Doctor.
I was not the technical man. You were the technical man.
Yeah, I was the technical man.
I sold watches. I was a salesman.
And a very good one at that. You had the good head for the business. Very smart, but not for the tech. Not for the tech. Just sit down.
What's the matter with your hands? You've been dipping them in ink?
Dipping them in ink. How fond of the pretty story you are. No. Cells in my hands. They're dying. Dr. Martin tells me it's necrosis of the tissue. With the dial painters, it starts in the jaw. Me, in my hands.
I had no idea. How long since we've seen each other?
It's been a few months, but I've known for a while. Miss Wiley from the Consumers League asked me to assist Dr. Martin in conducting experiments. I didn't want to believe her. I didn't want to believe it, Arthur. I didn't want to believe that the girls could get hurt by working with my paint. I wanted to show her that it was a mistake, but when we conducted the experiments on the girls, my own breath registered radioactive.
I'm sorry. Our promotional piece?
And a very excellent one at that. How many new sales did that account for?
I don't know. I never really looked at it. I just know that it helped our medical market quite a bit.
Page 96, last chapter.
96. Radium. Dangerous effects.
And how many articles does it have listed there? 14, 15?
About 18, it looks like.
And how far back do those articles go?
1906.
1906. And how do you plan to testify that you never really read your own promotion piece? How?
I never really read it.
How's that?
I never really read it. I hired a man to put it together. I just went to the gal, but I never really read the book.
What do you mean you never read it?
It was a standard arrangement. Now it's my company to prepare the piece.
Which you never claimed to read?
I think you will find, Mr. Berry, that very few company presidents actually read their own promotional pieces word for word.
It had your name on it. You authorized the book's release. You have final approval of the content, yet you never claimed to read it?
Mr. Lee was responsible for our promotional efforts at the time. I entrusted those activities to him.
Okay, Mr. Reagan. You stated that you started in the U.S. Radium Corporation in 1918,
Yes, I was plant manager.
and you held this position for how long?
4 years.
In those 4 years, how many times did you venture into the studio?
Every day.
Every day. So you must have seen a girl put her brush to her mouth.
I don't recall.
You're saying you went to the studio every day and you never saw a single girl put a brush to her
I
mouth?
said I don't recall it.
No more questions.
Your witness, Mr. Markley. We have no questions. Alright, gentlemen, please approach. I'm ready to issue my ruling. We have to present our instruments. I realize that, Mr. Markley. This proceeding is a determined standard. I've heard enough these past few days to make this determination. The radium in the blood of these girls is an ongoing source of poison in their systems. Nothing your witnesses can say will change that fact. In the interest of justice, I'm asking that your defenses rest without calling any witnesses. We can conclude this hearing today and schedule this case for trial. Fine. I therefore rule that the statute of limitations has not been exhausted, and these girls have standing to sue.
Your Honor, one thing. I have a very full schedule with 2 other cases pending, and a key witness will not be available until the end of the summer. We can't be available until September.
Your Honor!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but our chief expert witness is associated with an institution of higher learning. This is the busiest time of year for him, and I cannot expect him to appear.
Mr. Markley is responsible for that situation. He is the one who requested continued delays.
Your Honor, surely you will not force us to make our defense at trial without the presence of our key witness.
Alright, Mr. Markley. Trial is set for September. This hearing is adjourned.
Why can't we let it be? You're wrong. We talked about this for a month. Why would we keep it? Oh, very clever, Edward. How long do you plan to keep this up?
As long as necessary.
That girl is still staring. How do I make her understand? I never wanted any of this to happen.
You don't. You don't make her understand. You don't talk to her.
Looks like death.
They all look like that.
That man was fun. He wouldn't even look at me.
What's the matter, Grace? He heard you.
How many were there?
Hundreds worked for us, but dozens died.
And they have a case?
Never got to trial. We settled, made big headlines, $10,000 for each girl. Medical bills for life, which wasn't all that long for some of them. This is where she sat, one of the fastest girls on the floor. In the courtroom that day, I caught her looking at me. So much anger in her eyes.
Oh, Papa.
On the steps outside, I saw her again. I had a chance to say something.
What did you say?
I couldn't speak.
He was afraid to speak.
I had my chance. I couldn't speak.
That man was afraid of me.
How could I explain to her? I have responsibilities to my investors.
It's not your fault. Nobody thought about things like that then. Science just wasn't as advanced the way it is now.
I think back in those days, coming up the steps to this room, chalky like an old schoolroom. And all those girls, schoolgirls, really bent to the task. No man could work the way those girls did, so careful, so fast. The hand moved from the dials to the
not remember their faces? I never saw their faces.